Okay, so what kind of situation do we currently have on NZD CAD? Now let's start our analysis from the monthly time frame. Now on the monthly, what we can clearly see is that the market is currently testing this very strong descending trend line. It was resistance here, again resistance here, again resistance here, acting as well as resistance around this area, and now it is acting as well as resistance here, and we definitely expect the market to show our reaction to the area. What we can also see is that the market on the monthly time frame is testing the previous monthly high, which is definitely a level from which we're supposed to see a reaction to the zone and a shift to the downside. So on the monthly, everything is showing that here we have a confluence of resistance from which we're supposed to see a move to the downside. Let's go down on the weekly and see what kind of situation do we have from a weekly perspective. Now on the weekly, we can see that the market created a very strong impulse to the upside. After an impulse, what do you expect? Specifically because the market reached the previous high, after an impulse, we want to see the retracement. Now, in this case, where is the previous resistance now turned support from a weekly perspective? Is exactly here, right at this previous resistance, which is now turned support, and we definitely expect the market to go and test this zone. We go down on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can simply adjust our target to confirm that this is definitely a strong zone. In fact, here on the daily time frame, this is clear resistance here, again resistance, again resistance, again resistance, again resistance, and all this resistance is now turned support at this area, and we definitely expect the market to possibly go and test it to grab some liquidity. What we can also notice from the daily time frame of NZD CAD is that the market just went for a very nice stop hunt. In fact, after the market created this weird head and shoulders, many people started shorting NZD CAD. And all their stop losses obviously are above these highs. So what the market did, the market makers, it brought market higher to hunt all these stop losses with this wick above this high, taking them out of the market, and now it seems like they re-entered by using the liquidity of all these stop losses. Now, before I will show you how we will be approaching this pair with students, let's first go and see what we have at the moment from a COT perspective on the NZD and what we have from a COT perspective on the CAD. So what big banks and institutions are currently doing on these pairs. Now, if we check what is going on from a CAD perspective, what we can see is that currently on the CAD, we are sitting with a minus 25k net positions from the positive 38k that we had here. So basically we went from having way more longs than shorts on the CAD to having way more shorts than longs. So definitely the CAD has been getting weaker. And what we can also notice, if we look here at what happened in the short term, we went from minus 35k to minus 25k. So basically what happened is that the CAD got a little bit stronger. And what we need actually, since we have seen a lot of shorts closing, so a lot of profit taking on the shorts that we have, we need actually to see some longs added in order to facilitate NZD CAD moving to the downside. Let's go and see what we have from an NZD perspective. Now on NZD, what we can see is that it has been getting very strong. We went from minus 20k to minus 1.9k, and we can expect possibly with the next report to go even higher. So in order to see NZD CAD actually make the move to the downside, we need to see again some shorts adding, because with the last report they closed 10k shorts, but at the same time it's very important to mention that they haven't added proper longs yet, which is a very important thing, because if they haven't added the longs yet, it means that this short closing might just have been a way to create the manipulation to the upside that we have just seen. So going back to the chart, how we will be approaching this with students. First of all, we still have this structure here, which is holding as support. Until this level will hold, it's very risky to be looking for a short. But if this area will break to the downside, then all this support will be turned resistance at this area. So how we will be approaching this? First, we need to see a clear impulse to the downside breaking below structure, and after the impulse on the retracement to the levels to the previous support, now turned resistance. With students, we will be monitoring price action on the 4-hour time frame inside of this area, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the downside, completion of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside, and for the market to go and grab some liquidity at this weekly and daily support. We will also have the confluence of the Fibonacci's inside of this area, possibly 0.382 or 50%. And we will definitely be monitoring with students price action inside of this area, waiting for one of our valid entries for the move to the downside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you. And I will see you in the next video.